From one of Ghana's food baskets, the whole Krobo land, Yellow Krobo, Lower Manya Krobo, Upper Manya Krobo. Today I am here in Krobo, Odumase, right in front of the Yogaga mountain. We are not here to treat tourism. We are here to look at the consistent power outage in this part of Ghana. The enclave has in the past months been thrown into darkness after confrontations with the Electricity Company of Ghana over prepaid meters. The narrative eventually got inflamed after the involvement of military men during the installation of prepaid meters. Lives were lost while some residents suffered injuries in the process.
Hello, Ibadeke. Picture ni poor. Ibadeke you go fix meter.
The legislative instrument of ECG, they have this point that if you want to introduce anything new, a new concept to your customers, you have to go to them, tell them how your new concept is going to work. Let them understand. Let them agree with you before you implement it. You don't just get up one day and go and slap some sort of agreement, or whether it was an agreement or whatever, on the people. Their own legislative instrument said that no education was made to the people. Nothing, no explanation. The way prepaid meters are used, that is not the way you use postpaid meters. Most people have never used prepaid meters. So you have to tell them how to use the prepaid meter so that you will not just run into debt. No education. They brought soldiers. Even policemen came and killed human beings. But soldiers have been trained to kill human beings. Police were to keep peace and order. Even they came and killed human beings in Krobo land. Now ECG went and brought military men who have been trained to kill human beings, shoot and kill human beings. They were not trained to kill grass cutter or antelope or deer or anything, but human beings. All of a sudden, they were brought into town to come and fix prepaid meters. Even when you are away, they climb your building, remove your meter, and they fix prepaid meters. And off they go. If you see them at work, the military men were fully dressed with crash helmets, guns pointed at where they are standing, that anybody who should venture will be shot. Even there was this statement made by some Tujaman that if they threw one stone, they'll give one shot. If they threw two stones, they'll fire two shots. Those shots, were they to be aimed at human beings or aimed at the air as warning shots? Or what was it? That was a comment made by Sojaman.
But what really is the story? What are the issues on the ground?
In 2014, some Chinese man and his team of workers came around fixing meters, postpaid meters, for those who had low meters. They fixed those meters. What I heard later was that those meters were not, the details was not given to, the data was not given to ECG. Though they come around to read the meters every now and then, they never bothered to read those meters because they said it was not on their list. So the bills accumulated from 2014 to 2017. Lo and behold, 2017, they brought huge bills. That is a period of 4 years. And I, for instance, had traveled to cure myself in my mother's hometown. I stayed away for 1 solid year. When I came back, my son, I had a son, was the only person I left behind. I was given 4,200 Ghana cedis bill. So I asked him, were you melting gold? Because gold melts at 360 degrees centigrade.
Subsequently, the Electricity Company of Ghana, with some military men, disconnected transformers in the Yellow Krobo and Lower Manya Krobo municipalities.
Every night we had a shot, so we came out. around 2 o'clock midnight. So as we studied the car, it was ECG and the maritime. So we checked the transformer. We have seen that the cables were being cut. So we can't do anything because there are maritime and ECG. We don't know anything to do. So in the morning, we rush to the chiefs, then we report this thing to them.
This has resulted in power outage in the Krobo enclave for over 7 days. The brunt of this is felt in every corner of the Krobo land.
In the light, local magapi, like yon magbe. You're going to make around 3 days today, but you are in any pay in your pet.
I'm only able to sew 2 outfits in a day. This has affected my daily sales.
In a sky, I time nego be on a market bang here me no 5-4 I in the light.
As it stands now, these eggs are supposed to have hatched, but because of the power outage from Monday, they are not hatching. So virtually I have to destroy all those eggs. They were 70 in number. Some managed to hatch, others could not. So I had to reduce some. Only 5 managed to survive, but because I could not give them heat in the brooding area, some are dead. These ones are more or less like on death row, waiting to die.
So not to cut down, but this is the repercussion of the power outage here in the Krobo and Lower Manya Krobo municipalities. He was able to, out of the 70 eggs he tried incubating from Monday, he was able to make progress of just 5 chickens or chicks being hatched. And out of the 5, some have already gone, they are dead. And then others, like he mentioned, are on the death row, awaiting to possibly maybe awaiting a miracle to keep them alive. But all these ones are on the death row. You just have one that looks a bit strong here. There is another one here that is also dead, because they were not able to go through the proper incubation process and then did not get the required heat to keep them alive. So what the eggs you are having here, what are you depending on? What you are now depending on? Sunlight?
No, I don't have an alternative power supply, so I'm just praying that if the light comes back today or tomorrow and the miracle comes in, some of them are likely to hatch. If not, by a close of Monday, I have to discard all of it because they'll start giving you a bad smell, so you have to dispose all of them. So as it stands now, after Monday, I cannot probably put eggs in the incubator till power returns, so probably I'm able to raise funds to get an alternative power supply. It's expensive. It's quite expensive. As it stands, the good thing for me is that I don't buy the old chicks. I use my layers and then the males I have to crossbreed, so I don't buy fertilized eggs. What I'll say I pay for is the electricity bill, and then there are vaccinations for a whole lot. So you are not talking of less, for them to go through successful vaccination, you are not talking of less than 1,000 cedis. And that would depend on the number of birds. The larger the birds, the larger the number, the vaccination cost is quite down because the vaccination takes care of about 500 birds. But if you have like 100 birds, you still go for the 500 dose of vaccine, then you calculate and then the rest goes waste.
Yeah, because of the light issue. Because of the light issue, we are finding problem about our work. Even though what I would try to say, we are pleading from our chiefs and this thing, so we have to become together. Then they have to make this thing. Then we get our light.
So how long have the lights gone out?
It's about 3 or 4 days now.
And what did they tell you?
We didn't hear anything from them. Yeah.
It just went off like that.
Yeah.
So then what happens to the people you have promised? Come for your car today, come for your car tomorrow.
Well, them too, they have been pressing that they will come for their car, but we are pleading on them that they should wait small. But they say if they wait up to some time and they won't get any this and then they will come for their cars.
So this is what your life, your family, I know you have wife, you have children. This is what your life depends on. So for over 3 days you have not worked. How are you taking care of yourself and your family?
We are facing difficult. If I will tell you right now, you even say if you cry for me or you weep for me, we are facing difficult a lot because what we give to our children or go to school safer is hard for us. So we are facing problem a lot. So we are praying for the thieves and the government that he should come to us, then they should come and help us. Otherwise, it will turn problem to us.
I've seen rice, I've seen oil, but what do you actually do here?
Cold store.
It's a cold store.
Yes, please.
So how has this whole power outage affected your business here?
Oh, it spoils many of our meats, and especially our meats and fish. All of them are spoiled, and we throw them away.
So then, sales. How do you make your money? And I know sometimes I have had a bit of the harbor experience. You buy things on credit, you sell, and then you later on send back the money.
Yes,
so
please.
how have you dealt with getting money to go and pay for all the things you have bought?
Oh, it makes us a loss. So we've go for some small credit loan so that we pay to them.
So you are actually running the business now on a loan, which you would have to pay for later on.
Yes,
but you were not able to make up for the first loan you took.
Yes, sir.
Emmanuel Penote has explained the plight of cold store operators here because they are running a cold store. Currently, they have had to succumb to the power outage and then get some generator set for themselves. But let me get into the shop. I see some box of meat here. So this is chicken, right? And then horse mackerel or mackerel. You call it pala. And then why are you keeping these ones here?
Like we are going to throw it away.
You are going to throw all these ones away?
Throw many away.
Okay, so what they are saying is they have had to discard most of their products, from chicken, beef, fish, and then all kinds of assorted meats they have here. They have had to discard them because they went bad. So this is what is left of the meat they would have to discard. So it's just resting here to be later on packaged and then discarded. Emmanuel is telling me they are having 3 deep freezers here, and then from what he is saying, they have had to empty the 3 deep freezers because all the meat in them went bad, and then they had to secure a credit loan facility to restock their refrigerators or their deep freezers to begin sales again. I've taken off my microphone, so I'll find out from this lady. Early on behind the camera, she made one interesting revelation about the fuel she uses here. Ongedeke or use or diesel generator
3.5.
3.5 one day. How much money do you make in a day before you are able to use 350 cedis to buy fuel?
Because of the lights or be market on we lost car and you need pay boo.
No, low first one, so you've discarded those ones. Ne opale ya loan no kia he ekpa law pure no hinsion it's an no he job no ma pay ne o ma pay jama loan first one on ne law pon ke second one on no ya here law ko nge full 350 hu here sika ko nge na ke o ma pay ke no ma pay jama scam
pay in one is scam Lord, you are problem on it. One is car. Okay, your fool. Okay, your fool upon okay, but market on a year. Take a super when woman you will kick me. Fung a point what the one generator uses and you may.
What Natevide, she owns this place, and what she's saying is she have had to come to terms with buying 350 cedis worth of fuel. So her generator in the background you can hear the generator running. She has to buy 350 cedis worth of diesel. First, be reminded that she had to discard assorted meat from these 3 sets of deep freezers. Secondly, secure another loan facility to stock these fridges. And she maintains that even though she had to use the generator set, business is not really booming or moving on smoothly because even with the generator, her meat here is not able to get frozen. This deep freezer is on, but it is stocking meat that has gone bad. Truth is, they are keeping it frozen to avoid the stench it comes with. So you have sausage, you have gizzard, tripe from the cow, you have chicken wings, chicken feet. So the freezer is a double-decker freezer. Everything you are seeing in it here is spoiled. The freezer, even though running on a generator, is unable to harden the meat. These are all poultry products. It's unable to harden it. So people are hesitant in buying the product. So even though they are putting in much effort, wasting a lot of money to keep their cold stores running, they are unable to even break even, talk less of making profit. So everything you are seeing here, see, this is a deep freezer that is supposed to harden all the meat products. But every meat product you are seeing here is very soft, and they have gone bad. So she would have to discard this whole freezer, throw everything away. It cannot be sold. She's only keeping them here, awaiting to be discarded or disposed of subsequently.
Actually, we've been experiencing it. The whole constituency went off since Sunday, and then power has not been back, so it's affecting us. My business is not moving, nobody is buying, because it's obviously light. When you work with a light, the person come and buy, you then go and work for the person.
How do you make up for things you've bought on credit and you would have to sell to return the money? Your personal upkeep?
Well, we are. I don't know what to say, but due to that, I have to let the people know that the business is not moving, so they have to exercise for us. If the light comes and the business start booming, then we have to pay them. But with my personal outfit, I have to call on my brothers from Accra to help me with some funds so that I can keep my family running. So that is how we have been living.
So this is Steven's side of the story. Let me find out from John how he's also been working without electricity. John, more minopio here.
Capital Jim.
Ne lo monokpe no.
Capital Jim. Daka eblochun.
Okay. Keje Sunday one ake light bill. Kepioke no chon on.
Epe what difficult. Ajaka can near no waka chwoni ebe. Wanye ocho no ngam. Unfortunately, the mass spray that I be use generator. Nika spray la egbawanya wa. Kaje hogba ka bas mono wanele easy. Wanele easy.
Market ni chengeke.
Oh, although ne light ogbo business chope Abadan.
John is talking about how bad or the repercussions of the power outage on his business. He is a carpenter with specialty, like I mentioned, with specialty in coffin making. He also does building construction. And he says even the 2 coffins here were sprayed with the help of a generator set. He can't continue because that is also quite expensive, looking at how fast the prices of fuel are rising. Midway my filming here in the Krobo land, I ran out of battery for my camera, so I decided to visit one of the shops here to find out if they could be of help. I got here and I realized this particular shop is using a generator set. So I asked if he can help me charge my battery, only for him to tell me once this battery is charged, I would have to pay 5 Ghana cedis. Apart from that, phones that are charged here, whether smartphones or what we call the YAM, anyone who brings them here to be charged would have to pay 3 Ghana cedis. And he is even being benevolent with the residents here, because I visited other shops and then they are charging 5 cedi for the smartphone and then 3 cedis for the YAM or the smaller phones. So I've charged my first battery. This is 5 cedi. I've left the second battery on charge. That is another 5 cedis. So I don't know, by the end of today, the number of batteries I have charged will determine the amount I am paying here. And even though he has declined to speak to us, he told me off camera that in a day he spends 100 cedis on fuel to be able to keep his gen set running. But how soon will this crisis be resolved?
Not that we won't pay, but we can't pay. There's a difference, we won't pay and we can't pay because they don't just simply have the means to pay. Those huge bills, from where would the money come from? Whole and cutlass farming. When you plant a cassava, take a look at the period that your cassava will mature for you to go and have it.
While residents battle power outage, ECG offices in the enclave remain closed. Willing bill payers would have to travel all the way to Japan in the North Tongu district of the Volta region to pay bills. The impact of the power outage is hugely felt at night by all in the Krobo land. For the cameras, I would have to use my phone. So this is my phone here. I turn the light on, and then maybe once I put that on my face, you can see who is talking. Except for my phone light, then the whole place is dark. I would be doing my report or doing the talking in the darkness. So people here have had to live for over a week without any source of light. And the Electricity Company of Ghana authorities are also not saying anything. So everyone is living double-minded. My name is Shadrach Odame Ejare, reporting from the Yilo Krobo municipality and the Lower Manya Krobo municipality here in the Eastern region for Metro News.